शॉर्ट्स वियर्ड तो नहीं लग रहा? शॉर्ट्स ठीक है?
हम दोनों दिख रहे हैं. Hi guys, welcome back to the Frenemies. Hi guys, welcome back to the Frenemies podcast with Meg and Rad. I'm Rad and this is Meg.
Just in case you didn't know or if you haven't watched the previous podcast.
Which you totally should.
But we are back again.
Also, if I look considerably darker in this video compared to the other ones, because I was on a diving trip and I no longer match my own foundation shade.
I don't think anyone is going to notice that.
But also, I kind of want to bring up the fact that this is our production.
Yeah, we are shooting on the phone and
We got these mics on Amazon.
we kind of believe in doing everything by ourselves until we are fed up, which we were in the last two podcasts, which was really hard for us to edit.
Shout out to every editor who has ever edited anything.
For us, because we are like, where's the video? They're like, okay, it's rendering or something is happening.
And now we get it. We get the stuff
Yeah,
now. It's just so hard, and we've kind of taken it upon us to edit these videos on our own, shoot these videos on our own, and do everything on our own, which we'll stop at some point.
Yeah, but I think we, because it's so new and it's so exciting, there are things that we find funny that the editors probably won't, and they will cut it out. So we have to go through everything that we have and stitch it accordingly.
We are going to talk about something that has been on everyone's mind for a really long time.
Somewhere it troubles us a little. It troubles me a little.
It troubles me too, but I feel like this has been the question that is constantly associated with us. Like, this is the question that comes into everyone's mind.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and address this. Meg, who is paying for it? Who is paying for the shit we do? What is it? Where is this money coming from? How are we making money? What is this lifestyle? How much money are we making? Let's address these things, right? That's what everyone's been wondering. So you go first.
We have been working since almost a decade now through a lot of brands we endorse on Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat. I think all the social media platforms that we are on.
Yeah.
And we make money through it, just in case you're not aware.
I feel like once people actually kind of understand the kind of money that's involved in these professions, they will see that no one really needs, I don't mean to sound braggy, but like no one really needs to pay for our shit.
That's true.
Okay, do you remember how much you first got paid for like an Instagram post? Because back then reels were not there.
Yeah.
First Instagram post that I did, say like 8 to 9 years ago, was a static post for a clothing brand, which I got paid for was 7,000 rupees.
Oh my god, you started off way better than me.
Really?
I got paid 2,000 rupees for a post.
Really?
I still remember this because this was one of those Instagram boutiques.
Yeah.
With those t-shirts, that kind of stuff, and I was just so happy with it.
I think when I started, I was 21. And I don't know if you're aware, but I used to work in a call center before, and I used to get like 12,000 a month.
That's insane.
For me to get paid 7,000 for a post was mind blowing. And I was like, wait, you get paid for this? That I discovered?
Yeah. And also 8 years ago, 9 years ago, 7,000 rupees meant more.
Also because you're young, you don't have a lot of expenses. So to be doing that and getting 7,000, which was like, wow, I can make a career out of this.
Was that like the hard hitting point? When did you quit the call center job full time and decided that this is where your money is coming from?
Basically, I started my journey through Twitter. Twitter was the first social media platform that I was on. I used to post this teenager facts, like a relatable quotes.
Oh my god, one of those pages that we follow.
Yeah, although now they are on Instagram, but they started off on Twitter, where my page was called Teenagers Facts, where I used to just post my daily life quotes, the relatable teenage quotes that I used to post, and a lot of people found that relatable. And in between those, I used to post like the Twitter ads, which were directly associated through my PayPal then.
But how did you post for? Were you posting for brands then?
I wasn't posting for brands. These were basically those clickbait links that you do, like say Justin and Selena back then. Justin and Selena kissing or whatever. It was basically a clickbait thing where people used to just read the thing, click on the link and watch it. And every time someone clicked on the link, I got paid like 50 cents or $1 for it. Like on a single click. So every Friday was like a payday for me. When I started, that was when I was 16. And when I was making that money, I was like, I don't know what to do with this money. The only thing that I needed that time was like a phone. So I got like a second-hand iPhone 3, then because just to post on my Twitter, and I just gave the remaining amount of money to my parents because what do I do with that money? And if they found out, they'd be like, where is she making this kind of money at 16?
Okay, so you did that. And then you still, while you were making money on Twitter, you still decided to go ahead with the call center job.
Yeah.
Why?
Because it was like a stagnant income, which like I was getting. What do you call it?
It's fixed income.
It was like a salaried base.
Sure, yeah, it was
Where,
constant.
where I know in the end of the month, because I needed money, the money is coming from somewhere. If this doesn't work out, there is a source of income that is permanent, sort of thing.
Yeah, I remember we were friends when you were working at this call center.
Really?
You were working in Andheri, because in Andheri or Goregaon.
Where I started when I was in Daisar, and then
And you used to go to Gujarat somewhere and stay as well, right? I remember this.
I used to be in Bombay for 15 days and I used to be in Gujarat for 15 days, where I also did like a career counseling.
I'm sorry. To deviate from the serious topic for a second. You
Did like a career counseling thing. Me, a 12 pass.
counsel people for their career.
Young kids.
Have you found out what they're doing now?
I think it was probably like aviation.
What?
I don't know, they were doing a couple of things. But that was something that was paying me money. Well, like helping me at my house. So that was happening, and it was so hectic because after a while I started being so consistent. I don't know if you guys know that I was the second social media platform after Twitter was YouTube, where I used to make comic sketches, which didn't really turn out that funny, and I got a lot of hate for it. And me being the young kid that I was was very upset about it, so I stopped making those things.
I think they were funny for back in the day. Would I laugh about it now? Probably not. But I wouldn't laugh about a lot of things that were made like a while ago. But back then, I thought it was cute, and it was this pretty little girl who had like a comic like vibe to her. I need to stop saying like because apparently I say it a lot.
Like what? Okay, so then that didn't really work out for me, and I started posting content. I started posting my OOTDs on Instagram, and it turned out that not a lot of people were doing it at that time. So it was just something that I did it at the right place, right time, and it worked out for me. And it wasn't really something that I wanted to do. It just happened. And people were liking it, people were appreciating it, and I was like, okay, I get paid for this, so let's make a career out of it. So it's been 10 years, here we are, sitting in a beautiful house, and paying for it.
For it.
Okay, you want to tell them about your journey and when you started, and how did you start?
I was in Delhi, right? And I, at the time, thought, I mean, as I was getting out of school, I thought I wanted to be a fashion designer, and I'd applied for the NIFTs and the Pearls of the country. I didn't get into NIFT, but I got into Pearl, as does everyone.
Pearl is in Bombay, right?
Pearl is in Bombay, Delhi. I think like 2-3 other places. And it was really expensive. Pearl was really expensive. NIFT wasn't, and it was one of those things where my parents were like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And I wasn't that sure because it was, if I remember correctly, the yearly fee was like 5 lakh rupees or 7 lakh rupees, which felt like a lot back then for my parents to be able to pay. And I know it was going to be a bit of a challenge if I were to do it. And I just realized that all I really wanted, all I was really sure about was getting out of Delhi. because I couldn't be in that city, and I also believe it's really important for anyone to move out of their parents' home in order to grow. And I was sure I wanted to kind of move out of the city, live on my own. And I had a friend who was studying mass communication in Bombay. She was from my school. She told me about it. I was also dating someone at the time who was in Bombay studying law. And I got into the Bombay colleges because the cutoffs are really low, guys. The cutoffs are really
I
low.
wouldn't know about that.
In 12th grade, I scored 85%, which is really bad for Delhi.
That is insane. I scored like 69% in my 12th grade, and then
Very accurate.
yeah, 8 point something. But yeah,
I scored 85, and now that I think about it, it's probably not that bad. But to get into Delhi University, it's practically impossible. You wouldn't get into any good college. And I got into every college in Bombay, and I decided to make the move. My dad put me up in a hostel here. You've been to the hostel.
I have been there from the very start.
Very start. And as I had moved and I saw how expensive Bombay was, I knew that I had to do something. I moved also to Bombay as I was moving and everything was happening.
At a very young age.
I was 18 when this happened, when I moved. That was 9 years ago.
Wow.
And I was really interested in pursuing acting as well. So social media was not something that came organically to me, also because back in the day it wasn't really a real.
I remember you when you came here, you were like, acting is it. If I don't become an actor, I don't know what else I want to do.
Bombay is a city where you are bleeding money by the minute, and I was on a pocket money of 10,000 rupees a month, which also included the rickshaw or the train ride to get to my college, which was in Bandra, and I lived in Juhu. And at some point, I was also I was seeing that social media might become a thing.
Yeah.
So I started posting. I made my account public from private. And like you, I was just posting for fun. I was posting my life. This is back when people were posting photos of like a khichdi that they made on social media. Yeah. Or like a random tree that they saw. Is when we, I think, started posting aesthetic photos and content, which people were like, wow, that's so pretty. I want to go here. I want to wear that. I want to eat that. And that's when it started picking up, and brands started to approach me. I remember when I first got approached by a brand, I had like 60,000 followers. Which now that I think about it, I should have gotten paid way more than 2,000 rupees.
Because I got paid 7 when I had like 30,000 followers.
No, I met you when you had so much more than me. And and that was that, and I've never looked back since. I still want to be an actor, but it's incredibly difficult to be successful at it, to be recognized for your work, to get a lot of opportunities, especially if you're not from the industry. And I don't want to be sour about it. I want to make my peace with it, and I want to move on with my life. And this is amazing. I get to travel with my friends. I get to live with my friends.
Yeah, and whatever, like in the future, maybe there's a role that fits you and you get it. So, but you can't stop living your life because there are bills to pay and you have to continue to do that.
I think for both of us, the one very similar and important factor was that we knew where we came from, and we were very sure that we don't want to be there.
And I don't know why a lot of people keep commenting saying, can you act like where you come from? Why do you act?
It's actually a mix. So it's either Amir Baap ki bigdi hui aulad, or it's you are from Kandivli and Rohini. Why don't you act like it? Because the minute we start to spend money, everyone's like, act like the poor whatever that you were. Or then they're like, oh, your dad's paying for it. Why can't people in general just accept that two beautiful young women have the ability to pay for their own shit? Like, it's ridiculous. And especially because I know Meghna's journey and I've seen exactly where she comes from, and I don't mean that in a derogatory way, nor do I mean it for myself or my parents or anything. I love my parents.
We don't mean it. We don't mean bad things where we come from, or we have been raised beautifully.
I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world.
They're so proud of us. And for anyone to come on our page or come to our Instagram, social media, anywhere, and comment something negative, is not appreciated because you don't know our journey and where we come from.
And the worst part is people, it's just so easy for people to assume because they're raised in a certain way, right? They are raised to believe that you have to study engineering or designing or architecture or law or CA or whatever, and then you will make money. So people, it baffles people when they're like, ये तो बस फोटो पोस्ट करती है, ये कैसे पैसे कमा रही है? नहीं नहीं नहीं, ये तो हो ही नहीं सकता, इसका तो शुगर डैडी है या डैडी है. There's nothing else. There's no, because a woman cannot earn money on her own without, of course, being a prostitute.
We make money through our social media and we are paying for it.
I want to quickly get into the various sources of income that can come only through Instagram. I'm saying only Instagram, then we get to YouTube and other stuff.
So there are different kind of, because Instagram has so many sources.
So many deliverables.
Okay, so many sources. Let's just start with the things that you get paid for. We get paid for is either a static post or it could be like a carousel post,
Which is multiple photos in one post.
which are two different things. There is Instagram video story. There's Instagram static story. There is link in bio. There is display change.
And display photo. Display photo change. There is a repost of a video on your story. There's a repost of the video on your feed.
Yeah.
There is, of course, reel.
There's live, going live with a brand,
There is just be doing a collab post with the brand page.
which is an additional cost.
Which is an additional cost.
There's exclusivity, which, for example, if a skincare brand doesn't want me to promote any other skincare brand, they will pay me 3x. Yeah. For just only promoting their brand for the month or the whatever the duration is.
There is brand usage,
There's brand usage.
where they can use your photo or video on multiple websites.
Their websites. You get
But
paid for that.
also on digital usage, e-commerce usage, and social media usage are two different things.
Yeah.
There's a per day shoot.
There's a per day shoot. There it could be per day. It could be per hour by the hours. Sometimes the brands take care of the production, so we don't have to pay for it. But there's sometimes that we have to take care of the production, so we burn that money from our pocket.
Sometimes a brand wants us to be kind of like a face of a campaign in which we get paid for. Oh, a very interesting one which you have done, I haven't done that, is where a brand launches a collection with you and you get paid for sales.
It depends on your deal with the brand. It could be like a base salary that you get, and you get a certain amount of percent. Could be like 5%, 10%, 30%, whatever. Or they just give you the base amount. If you think that you can't make sales out of it, you can obviously just take the base amount and get away with it. But if you think you can give them sales, then you obviously take a certain amount of percent from them.
There's hosting.
Yeah.
Hosting,
There's
guest
hosting
listing.
events.
Guest listing, you can throw a party and get paid for it.
Literally. So these are the various things that
On
we
Instagram.
on Instagram, and then we have YouTube, then we have Twitter. I'm not active on Twitter, but she is.
I am on Twitter. I'm on Snapchat. You get paid different amounts for a Snapchat static, for a Snapchat video story, link in the bio.
And Snapchat pays you itself.
Snapchat, you get paid on Snapchat directly, where you can post a certain amount of stories every third or fourth story, or like a static or a video. There's an ad that plays on your Snapchat, and then if anyone clicks on that, you get paid for it. Twitter, you get paid per tweet. Per tweet. I haven't done that in a really long time. I should start that again to support my lifestyle. Then there is YouTube. YouTube, you haven't started yet.
I haven't started earning off of YouTube.
Okay.
YouTube also, you get paid through YouTube, which is not a lot because there are ads that come on your page, so you can monetize them. Or you get like a brand integration that you are just keeping the product somewhere nearby and then you get paid for it. Or it'd be like a direct video where you're promoting the brand. And you have YouTube Shorts that you get paid for. See, we can pay for it.
And if after watching this video someone still thinks that we don't have the ability to pay for this,
Yeah, daddy's paying or boyfriend is paying or I don't know, we are paying for each other. That's how we make money, and we also pay for each other.
Oh, I completely forgot. Also, on the Instagram list of making things, if she's doing a video and a brand wants me to be featured in it, I can charge them as well
Yeah.
for the feature.
Yeah, it can sometimes be the videos just going like a collab with me and the brand, but they want Radhika also to be in it, so Radhika get paid for it. Or it can also be a collab between the brand and two of us.
Event attendance.
Yeah.
Event attendance is another deliverable that we
Yeah,
get paid for.
That's true.
Yeah. So
There are a lot of sources of income just on social media, and a lot of people were not aware, so we thought we'll address it.
and also so many young people out there who are maybe still figuring out how to make money off of it or how to go about it with brands or agencies or whatever in their associations. I think this could kind of
Help you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we get into the saucy part of it? Should we get into numbers?
Let's do it. Since we are making a very detailed, informative video.
Honest video. Okay, I'm just gonna
Dive into it.
yeah, I'm just gonna get into it. So for a single association with a brand, I would say it comes up to a 7-digit figure.
I think now we've reached a point we almost, I think, charge the same amount. So it basically could be like a single. Sometimes the brands come up with just a story or like a reel. Usually the deal is a reel and a story, which can also come up to 7 digits. But if it's a specific story, it can come to 6 digits depending on the brief of the brand.
If it's just one story that is going on our page, then it comes up to a 6-digit
Yeah.
number. If it is, larger
Multiple things,
deliverables, reel or post or exclusive video, whatever, 8-hour shoot, whatever, it's
Then we can
almost always a 7 figure
Yeah.
that we're looking at.
Yeah.
What would you say your yearly income would be like?
8 digits?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be fair to say that it is an 8-digit number for the both of us.
Annual income comes up to 8 digits.
Yeah, it comes up to 8 digits, and it was obviously not always like that. I would
Yeah.
say the last year it has almost doubled in those 8 digits.
Yeah, because we found out our real cost. Our worth.
Last year I paid for work.
We finally know our worth, so here we are. But it's all not always been like this. We have started with 4 digits and we have worked really hard. We work on our content. After a while, you work on the production, you work on the quality of the video, and the brand starts appreciating it. So it goes after 10 years, probably.
What do you think your your costs look like? Like, what do you spend on professionally?
Oh.
Let's get into that. Like,
yeah.
who all are on your payroll in the professional sense?
I usually work with a lot of freelancers, so I pay them by the video. If it's they also have the different costs. They charge say like 25,000 for a reel, 5,000 for a story. So it depends on that. And there is hair and makeup, which costs around 10K for hair or 5K for makeup. So usual reel production cost would be around 35 to 40,000.
Yeah.
For me, and
And then sometimes there's like those extra kind of videos that you do where you need decor or you
Yeah,
need a
yeah.
stylist or
Yeah.
you need a venue or you need a
Then it's a
villa,
different cost, yeah.
which is a
depends on what they want, what the brief requires.
yeah.
And according to that, but the usual basic minimum production cost would be around 30 to 35 for a reel. Do you want to talk about how many brands do you get in a month?
I have 2 brands on a retainer basis.
Okay.
Which
That is so, I'm so happy for her for that, because sometimes she can just pay for me because I don't have anything that I work on a retainer.
but more often than not I have borrowed money from her because I just have no control of my spending.
It's just like you don't have to pay the Amex bill. She's paying. We actually reached a point where we swipe Amex like we don't have to pay for it.
Yeah.
It's paid for.
I use my credit card like Amex is paying for it. And they are like, Radhika, ye gift hai. Hamari taraf se. While we talk about shopping, Meghna, what did you say we have to do after this podcast? Just shop.
I really have to go to IKEA. I am building my house and I need to build doors for my wardrobe. So I have to go see it in person.
So this is my 86th visit to IKEA this month.
And I was like, can you come with me? Because I know she's the only one who'll spend with me and I won't feel so bad about it.
I thought you called me for my being the IKEA queen.
Yeah. Also that.
Like, I know every aisle. I know what every aisle consists of, how many variants are there, what a
Okay,
certain,
I think we just forgot about the topic you're talking about.
how many brands do we work with. I have two on a retainer basis.
When she says there is a retainer brand that she's working with, which is basically like a 6-month deal or a yearly deal that she has with the brand, where every month she has to do a reel and a story, or it depends on the deliverables. But that's what she's working on right now, is what retainer means.
Yes. And also the cost that the money you get paid for that is a little lower than what the brand would have to pay you if they were to come back to you every month and be like, okay, do this one reel for me, do this one post for me, because you're giving them a package cost. So say a usual, like if I were to charge them per reel, per story, per exclusivity, per whatever, say for example, if it were to come up to 50 lakhs.
For one reel? Wait, what? Has she been lying to me about the money she makes?
For a yearly deal, for example, with one brand. If it were to come up to 60, then you would kind of tell them that, okay, it's a yearly deal, so I'll give you a package cost because I know this money is coming, and you say, okay, I'll do it for like a 50.
So it's basically something that you come meet halfway, and which is beneficial for both of them.
Yeah.
And that's why they do it in a lesser cost, which works out really well because she's technically getting a salary for it, and it's like a fixed income.
How many brands do you do in a month?
3, 2, 3. If I'm doing like a story or a static or just like a link in bio, I wouldn't count that.
Yeah.
Because I'm just counting the thing where it's like a bulk deal where I'm doing a static video, a static reel and a story. That'll be like 3 brands in a month.
Yeah, and also these are brands that I think now we have reached a point where we are working with brands that we truly, genuinely like using as well, not just like promoting.
Yeah. There are a lot of, because we both love skincare so much. There are mostly a lot of skincare brands we do and we believe are really nice. And it works out really well because the brand like us and we like them back.
How many brands do you think you have worked with till now? In like, I mean, I know you can't give me an actual number, so let's say in like approximate.
Wow, I think 180.
Yeah,
180 to 200.
I think 200 to 50 easy for the both of us.
Yeah.
Easily. Also counting like the travel partners.
Then that'd be
250-ish.
A lot of times when we are traveling, there are brands who take us. There are sometimes that we reach out to the hotels where they're okay with like a barter deal. I think most of them never pay. It's just like a barter deal that works both for the hotel and for us. So a lot of times when you see us traveling, it's basically we have paid for the flights and we have approached like a chain of hotels where we ask them to give us like a per day, say 2 nights, 3 days, and we give a certain amount of deliverables in exchange to them. We'll be like, say we are doing 2 reels for 3 nights, or if you're going together, we do like a collab reel and for 2 nights. So that's how we partner up with with hotel chains and
I think in the start we were very like hesitant about reaching out to brands because to people in general or whatever, because we were like, samne se how can we be like, please give us free stay and all. But once you understand that this is the nature of business and this is what everyone is doing, from the biggest to the celebrities, it's just there's an army of people behind them. Versus
there are actually a lot of PR people who are handling just social media collaborations. So there are people who are appointed to just do this. So we might as well just make use of it, and we can just get better. And we just get like a better deal and a better hotel that we can explore. So it just works out for both of us.
And we honestly shamelessly spam people.
Shameless.
We shamelessly, like every time someone, even our friends are like, do you have, because we have traveled so much and we have so many contacts, that if any friend of mine reaches out and they'll be like, "Oh, I'm going to Europe. Do you have some?" I was like, "Wait, where in Europe?"
Dude, I do not believe in gatekeeping. Like, I will tell you whatever you need. You ask me where this lamp is
Yeah.
from. I'll be like, this lamp was bought for this much from this website on this day.
Yeah.
Also, now I have a coupon code that they sent to me after I bought it. So you must use this coupon code
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Yeah, because Radhika has just made her house and everything. She has contacts for everything. I don't have to do that recce of finding people. It's just available to me, and I'm just like,
I genuinely believe that once you share your sources or your
it's so much easier than people are never hesitant to share their sources. So it's just beneficial for everyone. So we're all happy.
yeah.
But so yeah, that's how we.
That's the travel bit. I haven't partnered with an airline partner.
I have Go Air, Emirates. I have partnered with
Why the fuck aren't we doing it now?
because they're not doing it anymore.
Firstly, I don't know why you have an Emirates contact and we have not done.
But they don't do it anymore. There are a lot of people who have been exploited now. So they are like, bus ho gaya, ab kuch ho nahi raha. There are a lot of brands that we work with that are not paid. They're mostly barter, but we want to be associated with them, so we do it.
Yeah, like even when we're traveling, there's like these Bistro Village kind of
Yeah.
places that you could work with
Yeah.
for barter
Yeah.
and like their VIP services. That is also something. Then there's obviously free clothing and shit.
Yeah, I used to earlier. There's so many international brands like say Aloha, Fashion Nova, Revolve. There were a lot of brands I used to see on a lot of international bloggers. I should just tap on it and DM them. I have 150 people. I was like, oh my god, I love this dress. DM them. And I approach them as like Team Meghna Kaur. So it doesn't look so desperate.
Same. Reaching out to you from Team Radhika, not introduce.
And they're like, ooh, team has reached out. Must be someone special.
क्योंकि कोई और type नहीं कर सकता ना.
Just drop an email, drop a message, find their email, spam them.
I have spammed people, bro. Like one of the Greece trips I was meant to take 2 years ago. I have spammed people to the point where I'm like, hey, what is the update? Where is the report? You said you get back by Thursday. Hello, what is happening? Hello, do you have any update on this?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, shameless.
I'm no shit. It's okay.
And I think we've reached a point where we're like, वो पर्सनली थोड़ी जानते हैं क्या ही सोच लेंगे कब तक सोच लेंगे भूल जाएंगे
We also get spammed now by people. We judge them or what?
So if you're looking to be a creator and if you're looking for contacts, just spam people and get it.
Do it, bro. Who's judging?
Yeah, nobody's judging. Nobody remembers. They don't care. We used to think about this a lot, and we've passed a lot of time thinking this. But now we're shameless, so it's a start for you. So go for it. Nobody's thinking anything.
Yeah, and I'm glad we're kind of talking to the audience about how we make money and the fact that we do make money, which is a very it's a really sensitive topic for the both of us, and I know it really bothers us.
Yeah.
Because imagine reading something which is the opposite of the truth
Yeah.
about yourself every single day.
Yeah.
Something that you've worked genuinely hard upon, have had sleepless nights with, worked at call centers, stayed in hostels, done all of this, done your fucking share.
Yeah.
And, so I think it's really important.
So there's no need for anyone to share your hate, negativity, or any sort of that opinion.
Yeah, and also if you're somebody who kind of wants to do more than what they were born with, dude, fucking go for it.
We are just getting started, and it's only going up from here. So
That's what she said. Oh my god, next we should talk about how pride we are with GST.
oh my god, that's again a really sensitive topic.
Very sensitive topic for us. We hate GST.
Why? Thank you so much for watching Frenemies by Megan Rad. We'll be back again.
Next Sunday at 3 p.m.
Yes.
I was dying in heat.
Same.